Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining us today. You're listening to the Women's Broadcast Television Network Expert Spotlight Show, and I'm your host, Shay Vaughn. WBTVN is the all-women's television network with content that's created by women and for women. And here today on WBTVN's Expert Spotlight Show is our guest, Miste Anders. She is a master life coach, best-selling author, and speaker. Help me to welcome her to our show. Miste, I love the Miste. I had spelled it M-I-S-T-I.
Yes.
And you said, no, it's E for?
Energy, excitement, and enthusiasm. M-I-S-T-E.
M-I-S-T-E, Miste.
Yes.
So,
and my mother.
Yes, your mother?
Yes, my mom wanted me to be unique. So she said, I'm not going to name you M-I-S-T-Y. I'm going to name you M-I-S-T-E.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think sometimes when moms are in the, just giving birth and whatever, they kind of want to be creative.
Yes.
I did some of those same things. Like
yes.
I have a daughter, Valerie.
Oh.
I only wanted to spell it with an I at the end and leave the E off. So I'm with you 100%. So anyway,
awesome.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about yourself, growing up, and how did you get to where you are today, Miste?
Wow. It's funny because to really describe how I got to where I am today, my daughter calls me half a centurion. That's what she calls me. She says, Mom, you're a half a centurion, and I'm like, yes, that's correct. And I'm very proud of it. So let me give you the short version, of my life. And so I was born in Chelsea, Massachusetts. So my dad was in the military. I'm part of a military family. And so we've been in the East Coast, on the West Coast. I've lived in Guam. I've lived in Hawaii. I'm the eldest of three.
Okay.
And I have two children, Esperanza and Austin. And I am married as well, and currently. And I am also the proud foster mommy to Harley, the dog. He's a Pomeranian. And I think hopefully you don't hear him in the background because he's very upset that he's not by mommy right now. So he's like scratching at the door. Yes. But in between all of that as well, too, I went to college for communications, public relations at Cal Poly Pomona. And I was a student athlete. So I am a former All-American in track and field in 1,500 meters. I also was I am a second degree black belt as well too. I've been doing Tai Chi for, probably about it's got to be over 25 years or so. And I invented what I would call like a program called Empowerment Tai Chi. And so Empowerment Tai Chi, I teach people Tai Chi and deep breathing. And in the midst of all of that, I basically give them affirmations to affirm themselves as well, too. And I call that Empowerment Tai Chi. And that's something I did recently.
Okay,
and
I'll stop you right here.
Sure.
Loving hands.
Yes.
Loving hands. I love it.
I actually
is so grounding. It is.
Yes.
People don't realize all the huge benefits from that because they think that if they're not doing taekwondo or pushing or kicking or whatever,
right,
they're not getting anything out of it. And oh my goodness, you guys are really missing something. So
yes, it is actually pretty intense. It is the only internal martial art, which is very, very interesting. So a lot of other martial arts focus on an external force coming at one, whereas Tai Chi is totally centered around internal, the aspects of an individual. So it's very interesting.
But what's also interesting is that they all come with tenets. Because the Eastern philosophy believes in principles, in tenets, in beliefs.
Yes.
And one of the things that I really do feel that in the American way of fitness, and that's a world I've been in for a long time, fitness and wellness, is that it really does give you a better feeling about the reasons why you're really doing what you're doing. There's a purpose behind all of it. It's not about the kicks. It's not about how the punches. It's not about any of those things. It's really
Yes.
about community service. It's about love. It's about integrity. It's about so much more than that. Because my husband's a third-degree black belt.
Oh, wow.
I took mine to my black belt.
Yes.
And the things that I really loved most was afterwards doing all the workouts and stuff and learning all
Yes.
the patterns. You had to learn a lot of patterns.
Yes.
And it was sitting around and really talking about other things. Yes,
Yeah.
I did a better kick today, and I've never been able to do that before.
Right.
Great. But what did you give to the community?
Yes. Yes.
So I just wanted to mention that because I don't think that the general public really realizes, and Tai Chi is something that is in my brand that I teach.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I need another coach. So we'll talk about that afterwards.
Awesome.
I didn't
Awesome.
mean to stop because I love
Oh, no, it's okay.
the story. So you've been doing all of these things, and then what actually brought you into writing a book, actually deciding to be a coach, and obviously a speaker?
Yes. And so what led me to, I'll take the coach first and then I'll talk about the writing. But what led me to coaching is I actually had my own coach about 20 years ago when it first came on the scene, and she lived in New York, and we would have virtual conversations. And I thought, this person helped me so much. I would love to do that myself one day. And I loved how it was a virtual thing that she could do where she could really, her business could be anywhere around the world.
Exactly.
And so I loved that aspect of coaching, and just the sense of what she gave me. I felt if I could help anybody with any ounce of that, it would be all worth coaching.
Right.
Yes. And so that's what led me to coaching. And she actually was taught by, at Coach University by Tom Leonard. Tom Leonard? I forgot his name. Thomas Leonard, I think was, at Coach University, that he passed away. I forgot when, but yeah, so she was actually coached by him, which is really an awesome lineage that she has in relation to that.
There are just great mentors
Yes.
out there that need to leave their mark in life through other people that really embrace their teachings so that they can go on and do that, and then we leave that also for other people. So
yes.
So the speaking part of this, then, how did we, what inspired you? Have you always had that desire to, want to be a spokesperson and get the message out and all of that?
Probably no. That I think that happened when I was in college somewhere, because in college when I got into communications, but at first I was in the architecture program.
Okay.
And so I actually said, no, it's not for me. And so I said, what could I do? And communications was one of the majors. And I said, that's it. And so I actually wanted to go into sports broadcasting because I was a student athlete and everything, a track and field long distance runner. And so I thought, that's what I want to do.
Okay.
And so that's where that speaking component came into being.
Okay.
I think a little bit. And then thereafter, I think it's even more so. It's been happening for the past few years or so, 3 to 5 years here. Yeah. So I talk about many different things. I talk about FLY, which means frequently love yourself, or hugs is one other thing I talk about, which is centers on, to me, health, understanding, gratitude, and success. And one thing I tend to talk about often, but I don't know if people like it or don't like it, is stress. But stress, STRESS, actually standing for stand tall regardless, embracing survival and strength. And so I break down some things that people could do in relation to stress reduction. So that's where that.
It's funny that you're talking about stress, because I think that's a subject that many people have covered, number one. And it doesn't mean that somebody's covered it better than someone else. But I also think that when you can get very clarified on what that really is, it's, because I wrote a book too, and this is not my interview, it's yours, but I love to talk about stress. But many times, I know the one thing then in my life, and I write about this, is that the more I think about the stress, the more stress I have. I mean, I'm just, thinking of it 24/7, and how am I going to solve this problem, and how I'm going to whatever. And That's not what that's about. Stress is about giving yourself a break. Go for a walk, listen to some music, go take a dance, do Tai Chi, whatever it happens to be. Call a friend and go to lunch. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you something. If you take action and you do that, you come back with a clearer mind. And so many times the things that you're stressing about go away on their own.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but sometimes other people, family people can get together and solve their own problems.
Yeah.
But you're stressing about it, and they probably already worked it out.
Right.
So it's really about taking a break.
Yeah.
That is really what it's about.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
but I love how you've taken all of these other words that are virtuous and put them together so that you can teach around those.
Yes.
And those things do help stress, because if people can embrace that, then they're going to be, have a way to get through it, because they'll be thinking about all the great, coaching that you've given them. I love that.
And I think one of the things that makes me unique, I call myself an interactive performance speaker, because I actually integrate martial arts and Tai Chi, and I'm actually a hula dancer. I've been dancing for about nearly a decade now. And so I actually, and that's probably why my hands are so gentle. Like that's,
Oh, I did this for a long time.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
That's how I normally, when I'm dancing, that's how I am. So that's probably why that is.
There's nothing better than movement that has a meaning behind it.
Yes.
Regardless of what it is that you're doing. And that's why, doing hula or doing, Tai Chi or dance or ballet or any of those things that have a meaning and a purpose to them.
Yes.
What kind of arts really have that?
Yeah, and so before I speak, I actually, if it's a live speaking thing, I actually integrate, like I'll come out and do hula, and I will tell them about the integration of that song and stress or whatever the topic may be. And so it has a very great segue into it. And there's not many people that I know that can do all those things. I actually do some Tahitian dance, but I'm a little rusty on that one, so I'm not as comfortable saying about the Tahitian dance that much.
Yeah, just so that you don't feel alone, I'm real rusty on that one. So, you have something on it's a tagline on your website that actually says, "Only as high as I need can I grow. Only as far as I see can I go. Only as deep as I look can I see, and only as much as I dream can I be." I love that.
Yes.
Yes, and it's so true when you think about those things. And it is true. If you don't reach for it, you're not going to get there.
Yes.
If you're not focused and you're not seeing what it is, and if you're not following your dreams, how can they come true?
Exactly. If you're too stressed out to even see it.
Exactly.
So yes, I think all these things create great clarity and that peace that people need, because I believe in silence, that in the silence that people actually hear what their purpose and their missions and their dreams may be. It's in that silence that I think that people retrieve these things.
Well, and it's true. And I think it's like, you've got to be silent to hear what it is that you need to know.
Yes.
Even in dealing with, over this last weekend, I was at a couple of conventions, and, I was on a panel, and one of the questions, was talking about kids. And what would be your advice on that?
Yeah.
And I said, lean forward, be very quiet, and listen. And it's so true, because you're so used to just telling them what they should be doing. And this is a new, person in this world, even in a different generation.
Yes.
You grew up in, maybe even a different, mom and dad, home life, all of these different things. And how can we give advice when we're not going out to school and experiencing the same things that they are. Because
Right.
there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of stress when you talk about stress on these kids
Yes.
to do their best to, to not only they want to do it, they want to please themselves, they want to feel good about themselves,
Right.
but they also want to have, their parents, look at them in a different way. I'm trying, but do I have to do everything your way?
Right.
Lean forward and listen.
Yes. Love it. Love it.
So what's your next thing? What's your next thing that you want to bring, and what's some, words of wisdom that you would really share? You've said so many of those things, already.
Wow.
But tell me what's in that heart of yours.
Gosh.
It's kind of like, if you were sitting in counseling, and you probably see something over and over again as, a routine thing that somebody is struggling with. And that may be, I just can't do this. I'm not good at this, or I'm fearful, or whatever those things are. What's your words of wisdom?
I would say a couple of things. One is feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yeah.
So in part, I would say that connects with live fearlessly,
Yes.
But second of all, too, as well, every year I feel like I'm given words.
Yes.
And these words have specific meaning. Last year, my word was go. Simply go. This year, this year, hopefully I don't say anything offensive, but this year the words are, I got two words. One was grow, and the other was kick behind. And, and so I said, okay, I got it. And so certainly I think that those things are not just significant for myself, but significant for others too as well.
Oh.
Grow and just, kick behind.
Right. So Misty,
I hope that wasn't offensive.
No, I don't think
Okay.
it was offensive. I think
Okay.
it's great. I mean, that's what we need to do sometimes, isn't it? It really
Yes.
is. And I know that anything that comes from the heart is meant to be helpful. And I think that's the important thing about it. So however you say it, I liked it.
Yes.
So so now what's next for you, girl?
It's so interesting because I did a vision board this year. I actually taught a vision board class too as well. And, one of those things on there was TV.
Yay!
And so, yes, and I thought it was so interesting. Yes, I thought it was so interesting because, gosh, I actually, do I have it right here? I think I do. And so it's amazing because this is a interesting vision board too as well. I do have it. So this is actually a portable vision board.
Oh, beautiful.
And so I teach people how to make these, but I'm going to open it up so you can see exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay. I love that. I mean,
Show and tell.
It's like you don't have to write it down. You put it in a story kind of.
Yes.
And that is so much more meaningful. And I think that when you're going through those processes, you learn what it is you really want to do.
Exactly.
Just pops out at you. Look at that.
And so basically, it has many different things on it.
A little bit more. Hold it up a little bit more. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Okay. So it's all folded, opens up, and it folds right back like a little package. Beautiful.
But as you see, there's one right there, and it says TV.
Okay. I see it right in front.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, there's other things like, your year to shine.
Absolutely.
But certainly I feel that is one of the things. And you can see I want peace of mind, so certainly these are all in my vision. But, because there's a lot of things I do now, like on Facebook Live, like at about 8:00. I do them on this month. I'm doing what's called Meditative Moments with Misty. And so that's at 7 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. And then at 8 p.m., we're doing the Meditative Moments with Misty, but it's the family edition. And so I basically encourage them to bring their families on to hear the Facebook Live so that we can do a minute of meditation and with the whole family being involved. And so within all of that, I think I just see the next step being just a broader audience, because I just really am, you know, I forget who said it. I want to say Agave, but he said that stress is poison. And so I know that my life mission is to help people, even if they find that place and that time just with me for that moment in time, that they are de-stressing. Then I think that has and can mean all the world to an individual.
Yeah, they're taking their mind off the stress and focusing someplace else. You know, many times people say, well, just clear your mind. Well, we don't even sleep and clear our mind because we dream.
Yes.
That statement has never made any sense to me and doesn't work. But the truth of the matter is, I'm going to come back to it, focus on something else.
Yeah.
Back to, you know, what that stress is. And so you're really providing that opportunity for them to be able to tune into you and to be able to do that. Start the day off, right? Because it's early in the morning.
Yes.
And how much better does it get? I mean, that's just great. Let's let the audience know how they can get in touch with you, Misty.
Okay. How people can get in touch with me, my website is Misteism, and it's www.misteism, MISTEISM. And let's see, I have a Facebook fan page as well too. That is facebook.com/Misteism, MISTEISM. Okay. And it's it will mention my company. It's a Misteism, so that they know they have the right location.
And they have the right person.
And yes, and I think they'll see me. They'll see a picture of me too as well. Right. So they would know that's her.
Exactly. Well, Misty, I think that you're great. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being on the show today, and I thank our audience also for being with us. I mean, we just feel so grateful, WBTVN, to be able to, you know, have, you know, experts like Misty. MISTE, which stands for energy and enthusiasm and all the good things in life.
Yes.
And to be able to have them on the show. And we thank the audience for tuning in and listening to the WBTVN Expert Spotlight Show. And until the next time, everyone, have a great day. Misty, thank you so much. And big hugs to you. And thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.